Hi guys, Dan Holton from GuitarLessonCentral.com here, and we're going to continue and answer some more questions that I've been getting in from you guys. I'd rather just do a video and then answer it, and hopefully it'll help a few other people, because these questions do pop up quite a lot. Now, today I'm going to answer a question from someone called Jesse, and they've said, hi, is there any advantage to play in one key rather than another? So obviously a blues player. When you think of the blues, A seems to be predominant. Okay, so basically, is there any advantage to playing in one key over another, especially when it comes to blues? And he's saying that in the blues, the key of A seems to pop up a lot. Now, it does, it certainly does, but also, I play a hell of a lot of blues, and I can tell you that I'm never constantly in one key. I am always bouncing around. If I'm playing some B.B. King, I'm often in something like B flat or D flat. If I'm playing some Eric Clapton, I might be in A or G. Stevie Ray Vaughan, G flat. John Lee Hooker in E. So, if you're playing a blues, you're going to be all over the place. So there is good kind of practice, which is learning kind of shapes and ideas in one key, and A tend to be where you start, especially if you're talking about pentatonics. So, you'll typically learn your A minor pentatonic, and hopefully you've got to the point where you've got shape 2, shape 3, and 4 and 5, and you've got your whole kind of pentatonic scale base in one key. Now, that's great for learning it under the fingers, but to get the brain engaged, you must learn how to put that in other keys. And this lesson is going to be way too short to kind of go into that. But I would say that there's not one predominant key. And in terms of any advantage or disadvantage of other keys, the only thing I can really think of is open strings. So if you're in E, for example, your E minor pentatonic shape 1 is going to use all these open strings. Right? So then suddenly this is why you hear these kind of licks. So I'm using loads of open ideas, and I'm allowed to kind of rock the low E string, and this is kind of like a John Lee Hooker kind of style, in my opinion. And advantage-wise there, you can kind of get away with murder. You can just keep... You can just keep coming back to open strings all the time, and it just sounds great. And that's probably why you see a lot of blues players kind of, like for example, Muddy Waters. If I was riffing with Muddy Waters, kind of this kind of... I would actually have a capo on the 5th fret to suggest that I'm in the key of A, but I just play those same licks that I've learned in E, right? So, in terms of, why use one or the others, that's a possibility. And the other thing is, more often than not with blues players, it comes down to the key for the singing. So maybe, they sing better in the key of G, that's more in their kind of range, than someone who's up here in the key of C, okay? Alternatively, it might be because they like playing the licks, so that your pentatonic shape 1's up here, you've got a slightly, you're starting higher up in theory, because let's be fair, that's where players are going to start, in pentatonic shape 1, in major and minor, and they might prefer to be playing slightly higher up the neck. But from your point of view as a student and learning the guitar, it shouldn't matter anyway, because even if I was playing, for example, in the key of F, and I could be down here on my shape 1, I could also be way up here, I could be on shape 5, shape 4, if I know my way around properly how to change keys. So if I was you, if you're stuck in A, I would start to move out of A, okay? And just start simply, just move to G first. So if you're constantly playing your A minor pentatonic here, just go down to G. Put on a G jam track and just see if you can kind of translate the licks, okay? You're not supposed to be looking at frets. Try to look more at the shapes for now, okay? So, can you see the shape 1 here and shape 2 and 3 in G? So practice it in G. Then once you've got the hang of that, try a key slightly higher up the neck, try a C. And see if you can fill out the low end of the neck as well. So if C shape 1 is here, shape 5, shape 4, shape 3, and stuff like that. So just to answer your question, to summarize, I would say no. You know, predominantly, if you're just playing in A, you need to start moving around, because you're going to be needing to know every single key if you're going to ever play, you know, against any kind of blues track.